Good morning, everyone. I'm Jen Forkish, Public Information Director for the Los Angeles Police Department. Thanks for coming this morning. We're going to start off this press conference by hearing from our mayor, Karen Bass, followed by the chief of police and our district attorney. We will take questions at the end. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Today, Angelenos can be proud of the extraordinary work of our LAPD and our regional partners. In the early hours of last Friday, LAPD led a coordinated operation across multiple jurisdictions that successfully took down a burglary crew responsible for nearly 100 break-ins across our city and across our county. I want to thank the tireless work of our officers and detectives. This crew, which had victimized families and businesses, is no longer a threat to our neighborhoods. I want to thank especially the detectives from West LA and their work and their leadership in this effort. I want to thank our Chief McDonald, Chief Choi, and all of the men and women of LAPD and our partners in Hawthorne, Inglewood, and Carson for their collaboration and commitment to keeping our community safe. And I also want to acknowledge the work of our district attorney, Hockman, to help Los Angeles stay safe. This operation is a major win for our city, but it is also part of a bigger story. Just a few weeks ago, we learned that homicides are at a 60-year low. Earlier this year, we saw overall violent crime in Los Angeles continue to decrease. And these are not just numbers. They represent lives saved, families kept whole, and neighborhoods feeling safer. But that's data. That's not necessarily how people feel, and how people feel about their safety is what is critically important, and arrests like the ones that have been made are a major contributing factor to that. The partners we have built between the LAPD, regional law enforcement agencies, and our communities are making a real difference. We know that there's a lot more to keep every Angeleno safe, but let me be clear, we will not stop doing whatever we need to do to combat crime. When we hear about break-ins in Encino or Sherman Oaks, or a burglarized break-in of a business in South LA, we do not rest until we find those who are responsible. We will continue to pursue justice for those who are targeted and work to prevent crime from happening in the first place, and we will continue to make Los Angeles safer, neighborhood by neighborhood, block by block. Thank you very much. Chief McDonald.
Thank you very much, Mayor. And good morning, and thank you for all joining us today. I'm here to announce a major operation conducted last week on Wednesday, August 20th, where the LAPD, in collaboration with multiple divisions, areas, and external agencies, served multiple simultaneous search warrants targeting a prolific burglary crew. This operation is a testament to our unwavering commitment to public safety and our strategy to disrupt groups preying on our communities. Some of the details of the operation: at 5 a.m. on the 20th, teams from West Los Angeles area and Operations West Bureau, along with detectives from North Hollywood, West Valley, Olympic, Hollywood, Wilshire, and Central areas, served warrants at 8 residents across Los Angeles, Hawthorne, Inglewood, and Carson. This coordinated effort involved our gang impact teams, Metropolitan Division platoons, along with support from Hawthorne PD, Inglewood PD, and the LA County Sheriff's Department Carson Station. A little bit of background on the burglary crew and the crimes. The targets of this operation were members of what was referred to as the Rich Rollin Burglary Crew, responsible for 92 residential burglaries in the city of Los Angeles. Some of these crimes date back to 2022, but the majority occurred in 2024 and 25, impacting families across our city. These crimes spanned across West Los Angeles, Pacific, Hollywood, Wilshire, North Hollywood, West Valley, Northeast, Devonshire, Foothill, and Topanga divisions, showing the reach and impact these offenders had on families throughout our city. The break-in this case came in February 2025, when 3 of the suspects involved in this ring were arrested following a vehicle pursuit. Officers recognized the van as being used in 2 burglaries that occurred the day prior on February 12th. Following that arrest, detectives began using information they obtained to identify additional suspects. In April of 2025, a search warrant was served at a residence in Los Angeles. At that time, 2 rifles, 5 handguns, a large amount of ammunition, body armor, large capacity rifle and pistol magazines, including a 50-round handgun drum, purses, jewelry, high-end watches, stolen credit cards, fake ID, as well as multiple license plates were recovered. We do not believe this particular crew is tied to the rash of recent burglaries in Encino. While this crew may not be connected to Encino, we've made progress with other recent arrests and continued to dedicate significant resources to identifying and apprehending those responsible. 10 suspects, all adult career criminals with prior arrests for violent and property crimes, have been identified. 10 are confirmed gang members from the Roland 30s and 5-5 neighborhood. In custody from August 20th operation, Devon Collier, 37 years of age, Tyrone Tisby, 47, Frank Tisby, 38, Jeremy Shepard, 38, Jermaine Kimbrough, 22, Michael Lewis, 20, Eric Cannon, 40, and Markel Lewis, 26 years of age, were all booked on charges including burglary and possession of controlled substances while armed. Already in custody on unrelated charges, Anthony Leslie, 36 years of age, and Sean Quinney, 36 years of age, both facing attempted murder charges. These individuals represent the kind of repeat offenders we're targeting through our crime suppression strategies, and their arrests underscore our progress in reducing burglaries and other crimes. During the searches, we recovered 15 firearms, several reported stolen from residential burglaries, and a large quantity of ammunition in various calibers in a large capacity assault rifle and pistol magazines, to include a 50-round handgun drum magazine, 6 handheld communications radios, face masks, headlamps, burglary tools, window punch tools, cans of bear mace, narcotics, a money counter, cell phones, and stolen property, including 3 high-end watches, U.S. and foreign currency, high-end bracelets, designer purses, and suitcase and wallets. So you look at everything that was taken here, just a major hit to any family that was impacted. This evidence directly links the crew to their crimes and will strengthen our cases. In the bigger picture, while technology is a game changer, nothing replaces a watchful neighbor or an active neighborhood watch. That's the most important tool that we have in preventing burglaries. We're doing more with less, deploying increased patrols, air support, mounted units, and community engagement like Coffee with a Cop, senior lead officer outreach, and working with our community police advisory boards to build trust and foster relationships. If you see something suspicious, please call us. Your tips help us disrupt these crews before they can strike again, maybe at one of your neighbors. This operation is part of our ongoing efforts to restore peace of mind to our community members. We listen to the community and use every resource we can to ensure safety for all. So thank you again for following this case, and our hope is to be able to let everyone know we're there for them. We're working these cases hard. Often when you don't hear anything about what the work that's being done, there's a lot of work in people, and I look around right joining me for this press conference. Amazing work. I could not be more proud of our officers and detectives who've been out there leading the way on this, and I'm very thankful to them. I'd now like to introduce our next speaker, Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hochman. Thanks.
So I'd like to first start out with a thank you to our mayor. Our mayor has done her best to provide resources to law enforcement and work with other elected leaders to make a priority on funding safety by building up the Los Angeles Police Department. That is incredibly crucial. Right now, as the chief said, they are doing more with less. New York City, for instance, has 36,000 sworn officers. LAPD has less than 8,700. If you add in all the officers for the Sheriff's Department and the 45 local law enforcements, we have around 20,000 sworn law enforcement officers. New York City has 36,000 for a much smaller geographic footprint. So I applaud the mayor and her commitment to helping fund law enforcement and working with her other elected leaders to get that done. My second thank you is to the chief and to all of Los Angeles Police Department. These are very difficult cases. In other words, you have a burglary or a residential robbery that goes on, then you have to go track these people down. What LAPD did in this case to track these 8 individuals down, and by the way, these are the 8 that will be discussed that have been charged with crimes, but there's a lot more out there that they're going after. Their techniques are absolutely cutting edge for law enforcement to go ahead and track down these criminals. They follow leads from wherever those leads go, and then they engage in both a technological type of law enforcement as well as just the pounding the pavement, going from location to location to location, leading to the search warrants, leading to the arrests in this particular case. I also want to thank members of my own DA's office and the Organized Crime Division. We have here Sergei Shubin right here who will be in charge of these prosecutions. And here's my message to the criminals. You don't want to see Sergei Shubin. You do not, or any member of the Organized Crime Division of the DA's office. Because let's talk about what these crimes are. These are not crimes of need. These are crimes of greed. What you have is individuals often not from the communities, and you'll see a chart over here detailing the the 55 cases that the DA's office has, but there's an additional 45 cases that are under investigation. These are the ones that are charged. And what you have is individuals who are not from these communities. These particular 8 individuals were from different parts of Los Angeles, not these communities. But they come in these communities. And they come in there not because they need anything, but because of the greed. And they don't want to actually use the purses. They don't want to use the stuff that they are stealing for their own personal benefit. Of course not. They are turning that into money. And one of the other things we've gone after today are the fencers, the people who are actually taking these stolen goods, turning them into money, distributing that money out, and then going ahead and continuing this operation. And who do the fencers go ahead and deal with these stolen goods? They don't want to keep them themselves. They, in turn, have to turn them into money. So very often they are using hard locations throughout the community, pawn shops, and the online marketplaces. And here's what I'm telling you about the online marketplaces. They're working with the police. Whether it's your Amazons, your eBays, your Facebook marketplaces, they are working with the police to help identify these fencers, to then go after the fencers. When they get the fencers, they go after the actual burglars and residential robbers that stole the stuff in the first place. Now, the chief discussed, and I want to discuss again, the 8 individuals that we have brought charges against. And when I discuss charges, as I always do, I make it perfectly clear. They're just charges. A charge itself is not evidence in a courtroom. And we will have to convict, and we will convict each of these 8 individuals beyond a reasonable doubt with evidence in a court of law. But right now we have the charges, and the charges are against these 8 individuals. They range in ages between 22 and 47 years old. They're Jermaine Kimbrough of Lawndale, Anthony Leslie of Los Angeles, Sean Quinney of Los Angeles, Frank Tisby of Los Angeles, Tyrone Tisby of Hawthorne, Eric Cannon of Los Angeles, Jeremy Shepard of Marina del Rey, and Devin Collier of Los Angeles. Now, many of these individuals have 1 strike or 2 strikes, which means for especially the 2-strike individuals, they are looking at a maximum of life sentences. So these are very serious consequences for these people who are thinking and doing a cost-benefit analysis. The benefit is you get some money. The cost now is severe. These people we will be seeking to have these people serve maximum sentences, and for the people with 1 or 2 strikes, that maximum sentence can be a life sentence. So we are sending that message out to the community, and not just to the public, to show you that we are working incredibly hard. And even if you have a robbery or a burglary, we get it. We're going to try and track that person down that day. But I want the burglars and the robbers to know that if we don't get you that day, we're going to get you. It might take a couple weeks. It might take a couple months. In some of these cases, going back to 2023, it took a couple of years. But we're going to track you down. We're going to get this stolen merchandise, and we're going to put you in jail or prison, and in some cases, for the rest of your life. So again, I very much thank the mayor. I thank the police chief. I thank these incredible officers that we are surrounded by today. I thank members of my own division, because I want to make sure that this warning message is received by the would-be criminals. The criminals who are out there right now thinking, is it worth it to go ahead and rob or burgle a house anywhere in Los Angeles County? Let me give you the answer to that question. The answer is no. We are now, I believe, open for questions.
If you could identify who you're with before asking your question. Anybody want to go first? Alex?
Chief Alex Stone, ABC. Do you know how they were targeting their victims? Was this just completely random in wealthier areas, or were they specifically?
Anybody want to talk about that?
And were celebrities involved in the victim?
Yeah, you. And introduce yourself.
Morning, Detective 2 Carlos Courier from West LA. As far as how they were targeting, it's still under ongoing investigation. Multiple times we do have technical information where they had been taking surveillance photos of certain locations, but I'm not going to go too far into that information because it's still an ongoing investigation.
Detective, does it seem though that they were targeting certain people, like celebrities in this case, all the cases that are out there?
From my knowledge, not this series, no.
Next question?
John Cleveland with Channel 4 Chief. I think a lot of people will look at this. A lot of Angelinos will say congratulations, thank you. But what about the people in Encino and Sherman Oaks, where we've seen that big rash, especially over the summer? Are going to say, what about us?
Right, exactly. We follow the cases where they go. The cases that we identified here today, these are the cases we were able to tie these individuals to. There are a lot of other cases that are working, a lot of good work still being done as we speak. So please be patient with us on that. And again, just touching base on what can you do to try and protect yourself. As we mentioned, a good neighbor, watch out for each other. Know your neighbors, first of all. If you see vehicles parked in the neighborhood that don't belong there, take a look at them, call in, let us know, talk to your senior lead officer. A lot of times cars will be pre-positioned with cameras on them, outfitted to watch your pattern of life. If somebody's watching you, obviously they have an edge to know when you're home, when you're not home. That's the kind of thing they're looking for. We've seen cases where cameras have been put in flower beds across the street from the house to be able to establish that pattern of life. The types of things being stolen, we mentioned, they're easy to be able to sell off. But at the end of the day, nothing works like somebody who cares about a neighbor, and then they for you as well. So thank you for that.
Next question?
Hi, Dakota Smith from the LA Times.
Yeah.
Can you break down the neighborhoods in Los Angeles where these occurred? How many were in the city of LA? And then specifically, it looks like there's a big cluster on the west side. Is that LA County? What LA neighborhoods are those?
Yeah, what we've laid out here is LA City, and as you can see from the map here, was it 91 or 92 total? 92 total burglaries in the city of Los Angeles. There are other cases working outside the city limits. What we've identified here is within. And as you can see, they do cluster in certain areas. There are others that are spread throughout the county, or throughout the city, and you can identify the neighborhoods from that. I mentioned some of the neighborhoods that were most involved, and we had detectives and members of the department from a wide variety of divisions that assisted in this that were from the involved areas.
And just to follow up on
Sure.
this issue about the flower beds in the valley.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you really seen somebody putting a camera in a flower bed?
We're aware of that. I couldn't give you a number on how many times we've seen it. It's a type of tactics, and the goal here is to be able to educate the community what to look for, and the MO for these suspects, that they are sophisticated. They do things like have the ability to jam your Wi-Fi cameras, jam your Wi-Fi alarms, and so all the more reason technology is very helpful, but it's not an end-all. The good neighbor is solid.
Next question?
Ma'am?
Cecilia Bograno with Univision. Have you seen, because these are from here,
tourist gangs still operating in the city?
I'm sorry, what kind of...
Tourists,
the South American burglary crews. There has been less of those lately. Anybody want to talk specifically on the prevalence of that?
So, Detective Carrillo. So what I've seen specifically to West LA, and we have these communications, these conferences between all the other divisions, is that they're still around, but they're not as active as what we're seeing, the more local burglaries, more local burglars. But there's still ones or twos here and there in different areas, specifically in our area in West LA, we still see them.
will you have someone that gives us a statement in Spanish?
Yeah,
Yes, we will.
we do. We have someone here. Thank you. Dakota?
Sorry,
Uh.
Sorry. Monica Danda, good morning.
Hey, Monica.
My question is there any pattern you can share with us in terms of if any of these happened in broad daylight, was it overnight hours, were people home at the time that these people made their way inside their property?
Yeah, there's a wide variety of answers to that, and they've done all of the above. When I talked earlier about the MOs they use, they try and find when you're not home so that they can hit it. But we've seen a lot of daytime burglaries, and I was trying to see. I think on that we lay out the time of day, so that map might be helpful for you to be able to see what time it happened. And again, they're very, very innovative, very creative in their approach to this, and we're trying to be able to stay with them on that.
Next question. I had a question for the mayor. Mayor Bass, you had said to Encino residents 2 weeks ago that you were really impressed with the Beverly Hills real-time police monitoring station that you visited. And is that something that would ever, be used in LA, be replicated? And the police have talked about their use of drones. Why isn't LA, adapting what they're doing?
Well, I can start and then you want to answer that.
And if you really liked it.
Sure. What I saw in LA, what I saw in Beverly Hills was the strategic use of drones. And I know that LAPD is testing some of that now. I'll let the chief go into details. But I think where we can use technology, especially given our challenges in not just recruiting officers, but hiring officers, it's an additional tool that I think can be helpful. Also, a lot of neighborhoods like the license plate readers as well. And that's another form of technology that can be used.
Yeah, thank you for the question. And we are, as best we can, trying to be able to stay up with technology. Beverly Hills, Redondo, Torrance, Chula Vista have been the leaders, the pioneers, if you will, in the use of UAS, as they're called, drones, to be able to do, particularly drone as a first responder, to get it out there quickly, to be able to have a video downlink that can share what's happening at the scene, to follow a suspect vehicle or a suspect away from the scene. It really is a game changer, and they get there. They don't replace our air units, but they supplement them, and we're looking forward to using them. We have started off in Central Division with a pilot program. We're also going to do it in Topanga, West LA, and looking at other divisions as well. And the key to that is to be able to see which companies provide a product that works in the area as it pertains to topography, line of sight. Different models have different requirements and different capabilities. So we're trying to be able to establish for the LAPD which are the best brands, which are the best models, and which technology works best for us. So that is in progress. We also are working on a real-time crime center that would be a citywide effort, and all of that technology that they can pull together, body-worn cameras, in-car video systems, automated license plate readers, all of that will be fed into the real-time crime center. So from one location, we'll be able to have a pretty good read on what's going on in the city and to be able to deploy the resources that we do have as efficiently as we can.